What if the most advanced fighter jet in the world wasn't built from scratch? What if it was copied, not piece by piece, but data file by data file, code by code, blueprint by blueprint? Because in 2009, something happened that quietly changed the balance of air power. Lockheed Martin, the company behind the F-35, was breached, not physically, digitally. Terabytes of classified data were accessed. Design structures, radar signatures, thermal profiles, systems architecture. The kind of information that takes decades to develop was suddenly no longer contained. This is the F-35 versus J-20 espionage race. Subscribe to this channel to know what happened later. Simply because exactly 2 years later, here is another breach. More data, more systems, more architecture. At the time, the implications were unclear. Today, they are not. Because just a few years after those intrusions, China unveiled a new aircraft, the J-20. And from the very beginning, something about it looked familiar. At first glance, the J-20 did not resemble older Chinese fighters. It wasn't an evolution. It was a leap. Previous aircraft like the J-11 were derivatives, incremental improvements, built on existing designs. The J-20 was different. Angular, stealth-focused, internally armed, designed not just to fight, but to survive in a radar-saturated battle space. That kind of jump normally takes decades. Research, testing, failure, iteration. But the timeline did not match that pattern. Instead, it suggested something else. Acceleration. And acceleration requires input. Look closely at the aircraft structure. The nose shaping, the air intake, geometry. The alignment of edges designed to deflect radar waves. These are not aesthetic choices. They are solutions to extremely complex problems. Problems already solved years earlier by Western stealth programs. The F-35 was designed with precise angular relationships to minimize radar return. Its air intakes were carefully shaped to hide engine blades from radar reflection. Its fuselage blended surfaces to scatter incoming signals. Now compare that to the J-20. The parallels are not identical, but they are close enough to raise a critical question. Were these independent solutions, or were they informed by something already known? This is where espionage changes the equation. Because stealing a finished design does not mean copying it exactly. It means skipping the hardest part, understanding what works and what doesn't. It means avoiding dead ends, avoiding failed prototypes, avoiding wasted years. Instead of guessing, engineers begin with answers, and that compresses time. Not from decades, but to years. But airframes are only part of the story. The real challenge lies deeper, inside the engine. For years, one of the biggest limitations facing Chinese fighter development was propulsion. Engines define performance, speed, altitude, acceleration, sustainability in combat. The United States had already solved many of these problems with engines like the F-135, producing enormous thrust, managing extreme heat, maintaining performance over long operational cycles. China, however, struggled to match that capability. Developing high-performance jet engines is one of the most difficult tasks in aerospace engineering. It requires advanced metallurgy, precision manufacturing, and materials capable of surviving extreme temperatures and stress. One of the key technologies involved is the single crystal turbine blade. These components operate at temperatures that would melt conventional metals. They must remain stable under immense pressure and rotational force. For years, China's engine programs lagged behind. But that gap began to close, faster than expected. The WS-15 engine program, intended for the J-20, began showing signs of progress. Improved thrust, better thermal performance, greater reliability. At the same time, new nozzle designs began appearing. Serrated edges, heat-diffusing structures. These were not random changes. They were attempts to reduce infrared visibility, to make the aircraft harder to detect, not just by radar, but by heat-seeking systems. This matters because stealth is not just about radar, it is about managing every detectable signature. Radar, infrared, electronic emissions. Every one of these must be controlled, and controlling them requires knowledge. Then there is the skin of the aircraft itself, stealth coatings, radar-absorbent materials. These are among the most closely guarded secrets in aviation, because they determine whether an aircraft is visible or effectively invisible to enemy radar. The F-35 uses advanced composite materials designed to absorb and scatter radar waves. But these coatings are expensive, difficult to maintain, sensitive to environmental damage. Now, newer J-20 variants appear to be using different approaches. More durable coatings, potentially more adaptable materials. Some reports suggest the use of metamaterials, engineered structures designed to manipulate electromagnetic waves in highly specific ways. If true, this represents not just imitation, but evolution, taking known principles and pushing them further. But the real battlefield is not physical. It is digital. Modern air combat is no longer just about speed or maneuverability. It is about information. Who sees first? Who understands first? Who acts first? The F-35 was designed around this idea. Its sensor fusion capability allows it to collect data from multiple sources and present it as a single coherent picture. Pilots do not manage sensors, they manage decisions. Now the J-20 is developing similar capabilities, advanced targeting systems, integrated sensors, network data sharing. The question is not whether it can match the F-35 exactly. The question is whether it can do enough. Because in modern warfare, parity is often sufficient. There are also growing concerns about electronic warfare. Jamming, signal disruption, data interception. If system architectures or operational concepts were exposed during earlier breaches, they could potentially be used to develop countermeasures, not identical systems, but systems designed to exploit known vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, the F-35 has not remained static. Its software continues to evolve. Block 4 upgrades introduce new capabilities, improved electronic warfare systems, enhanced sensor integration, more powerful data processing. These are not just upgrades, they are defensive measures, digital countermeasures against an opponent that may already understand earlier systems. So where does this leave the balance of power? The United States and its allies still maintain a technological edge, but that edge is narrower, because the advantage is no longer measured only in capability. It is measured in time, how long the lead can be maintained before it is matched, or copied, or countered. China's strategy appears to combine two elements: rapid production and accelerated development. If enough aircraft are built, and if those aircraft are good enough, they can challenge even superior systems through scale. Quantity becomes a factor, especially in regions like the Pacific, where geography favors mass deployment. But espionage has limits. You can copy existing solutions. You can accelerate development. But eventually you reach a point where there is nothing left to steal. At that point, innovation becomes necessary, and innovation cannot be copied. This is where the next phase begins. Sixth-generation systems, AI integration, autonomous wingmen, new propulsion concepts, new stealth paradigms. The race is moving again, and the gap may widen or close even further. So the real question is no longer whether the J-20 was influenced by stolen data, or whether the F-35 remains superior to J-20 Chinese fighter jet. The real question is this: in a world where secrets can be copied and technology can be accelerated, how long can any advantage last? Because the next war in the air may not be decided by who builds the best aircraft, but by who adapts faster, after their secrets are no longer secret. And it's no secret that you don't share or even like my videos. Will you share this time? And is the F-35 better than the J-20?